Hello and welcome to Let's Play Nintendo. As you can see, for the first series of this channel, we're going to be playing one of my all-time favorite games. This is a game that I grew up with, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Now, this is going to be a 100% playthrough, which means we're going to collect all the items, all the upgrades, and all of the heart containers and pieces. So, without much further to say, let's get into this. That was my test account there, so we'll go ahead and erase that one and make a new one. And here we go. I'm not going to actually read any of the dialogue out. I'm not very interested in showing off the story of the game. The game's been out for a long time. If you want to see the story, you can look it up online or you can play through it yourself. I will, however, leave the text up on the screen long enough for you to at least be able to read it. But I'm not going to go out of my way to talk to people that are just plot points, because frankly the game's already long enough without having to do things like that. So yeah, if you're looking for something that's showing off the story of the game, you may want to look at another playthrough. Mine's more or less going to be a bit of a guide on how to complete the game 100%. Alright, so our uncle says he's going to leave out of the house and not go anywhere, and he'll be back. Of course, we're not going to listen to him. We're going to hop out of bed and head out after him. Now, this chest here is kind of special. There's two other chests in the game that both can contain the same item that's in this chest, and that is the lantern, or the lamp. So now that I've collected it here, the other two chests are going to just have 5 rupees in them. If I skipped this chest and collected it from one of the others and then came back, this chest would only have 5 rupees. So they basically give you 3 chances to get that one item. I don't know if it's like a glitch or maybe just an oversight in the game's programming, but if you leave the house and then go back in, the music turns all light and cheery. So yeah, that's pretty neat. I really like the atmosphere in the beginning of this game with the rain and the music and everything. It's really intense and exciting, and it fills me with a, I don't know, like a sense of adventure. So we're gonna sneak past these guards. Obviously we can't get through the gate. They're not just gonna let us in, so we gotta sneak around to the side here. And that's exactly what Princess Zelda's telling us right here, right now. So we're gonna sneak in over here and drop down this hole. And down here is our uncle. He did not make it very far. And I don't think they meant to imply that he dies here, but the fact that he kind of just trails off here at the end and doesn't say anything else, and then you can't interact with him after that, kind of makes me believe that he did die. Oh, that looks incredibly wrong. But he comes back at the end of the game, spoiler alert. So yeah, it's not really explained what exactly happens. So these castle guards here, they're pretty rare actually. They only appear in the very beginning of the game, and what makes them unique is they don't actually notice Link and go after him like the normal guards do. They just kind of wander around aimlessly, and that makes them incredibly easy to kill. But yeah, after this first area, when we get out into the overworld, you'll never see those particular types of guards again. So this is another one of those chests that would have had the lamp in it if we hadn't collected it back at Link's house already. As you can see there, it had 5 rupees in it instead. So now here we are in the castle courtyard, or the garden, I guess. And here you're going to see the 2 types of guards. So there's the first guards that we saw, the ones that just roam around and don't really attack you, and then these are the normal guards. These ones notice Link and chase after him, and those are much more common. You'll see them throughout the game in the light world, overworld. So now we are in the castle. I always like to go to the right. It's just the way I've always gone when I play the game, but you can also go to the left. They both basically loop around to the same spot, so pick a side and go that way. Usually when I'm coming back, I'll actually go through the left, so we'll be able to see that later. this heart here because I got hit. There's always seems to be a heart in that chest, or that pot. I don't think there's ever a time when there isn't. I may be wrong about that, but it just seems like every time I've ever picked that pot up, there's always a heart under it. So we're gonna take this guard out real quick because I think he has the key that we need. Yes, and then we don't have to get this, but this is the dungeon map. Works just like the map in any other Zelda game, as you can see here. It just gives us the floors and where we've been and where we haven't. And there's not a compass in this particular dungeon, but if you get a compass, the map will be updated to show you the locations of important items like chests. So this part I've always liked because you can knock these guys off the edge, which is pretty fun. Oh, he got me. But yeah, I spent a lot of time when I was little just going back and forth in this area knocking guards off. Let's see if I can get this guy off. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna take these guys out real quick. Move on to the next area. Alright. These stairs will be important later on the way back out. Just remember that they're there. It's a bit of a shortcut. So this guy we have to take out. I thought he was going to charge after me, but he didn't. We'll head over here, and here is the first item in the game that you can actually use to attack, in a way. This is the boomerang. It doesn't do damage per se, but you can attack with it, and it basically petrifies your enemies, which can be pretty useful. And you're actually intended to use it to fight the end boss for this dungeon. The end boss in this dungeon isn't actually a boss per se, it's really a normal enemy, but it's a bit more powerful than the standard guards, so they just kind of used it as the boss for this area, which, you know, it works. So the intended way to fight this guy is to actually throw your boomerang at him to petrify him, and then hit him. And throw him, and hit him, but that takes forever, so we're going to cheat a little bit. The pots in this game are incredibly powerful. So if we pick one of these up and hit him with it, usually it takes two. Sometimes you can do a few more hits on him, it'll just take one. But hit him with two pots and he's dead. That easy. So this is the big key, not the boss key in this game, and it unlocks the usually the dungeon, the big chest in the dungeon, which contains the item, which this dungeon doesn't have a big chest, and also the boss door at the end, or not at the end, but there's a locked door that requires the big key, and it's usually near the end of the dungeon, or at least it unlocks the second half of the dungeon. In this dungeon, there isn't a big door like that, it's just a little cell. This right here is the third spot where you would have gotten the lamp if you didn't get it from the first or second areas. So now this is Princess Zelda here. We're going to take her back through the castle and to safety. So she says we got to go back to the first floor, so we'll do that. I may have skipped through that text a little too fast. I'm sorry if I did and you couldn't read it. I guess you could just pause the video and read it that way. So all this, all the way back to the first floor, is just backtracking. There's nothing really special about it, and nothing really to say about it, except for this room right here. Remember I said to remember these stairs? And that's because this is actually a shortcut that takes you back around without having to go through that path where all the soldiers were. So as you can see, we're skipping all of that, basically. And we hop down right here, and knock this guy off. Just avoid this guy here, he's not really a threat. And now we're back on the first floor. So we've got to go back to the entrance hall. So we'll go to the left this time, just so you can see what it looks like. Not much in here, just some more enemies. And the same for this room as well. There's a few little overhead passageways. And actually, if you walk up here, you can go out to the castle walls. And out here is actually the location of a later dungeon through here, but we can't get through there yet. You actually need the Master Sword to break that little barrier in front of it, so we'll just leave that for now. Now Zelda's going to talk to us once we get back in this room. So we're gonna go through the throne room to the secret passage, which will lead us to the sanctuary where the priest is located. Just jump through here real quick. I like these curtains in here because they make a really cool noise, but I noticed something the other day. Only the left side makes the cool noise, unless I'm mistaken. It makes a nice swoosh kind of noise. Yeah. It may be because I was playing, hang on. Okay, they both do it. It's because I had my, on my headset, I wear it with only my left ear in the cup, and I leave my right ear uncovered so I can hear things around me like somebody comes in the room to talk. And because the game's in stereo, obviously, I was only getting half the sound when I sliced on the right, and that's why I couldn't hear it last time. So basically she says to push it to the right from the left side of the shelf. So that's what we'll do. And now we are in the secret passage. And we're gonna, oops, wrong button. We're gonna grab the lamp so we can light some of these little torches. I normally don't light these, but I figured it'd be better for you guys to be able to see the room instead of just staring at the darkness in a circle around Link. It's not very exciting to look at. So I'll make a conscious effort throughout this playthrough to light the rooms up when I have the chance. I've played through this game so many times, I usually never bother with lighting rooms up because I know them already, like, basically the back of my hand. I have no reason to light them up. But for some of you lucky few that's never played this game or even seen this game played through before, this is something you might want to see. I wish I could go back and like just wipe this game from my memory and experience it again. That would be the best thing ever, basically. I would love this game so much. I would really kind of wish that Nintendo would release basically a Link to the Past 2. I know they released Link Between Worlds, but it wasn't the same, you know, graphic style, and the gameplay was a little different with the way they had it set up with the dungeons that you could do in any order, and the weapon rental system, which I didn't really like. I want a true, honest to God Link to the Past 2. Same style, same gameplay, just new dungeons, new overworld. That would be absolutely awesome. That would, I would die happy if they did that. So this mouse over here on the left side usually has the key. Sometimes he gets away if you dawdle around in the room too much and you have to go looking for him. But it usually spawns on the left side of the room, so if you go that way, you should be able to get it. Go through here. Okay, so on the left there, you can see that cracked wall. That wall is actually breakable, and we'll come back later in the game to get what's behind it. Actually slice these guys. And this is the hardest block puzzle in the entire game. It takes a lot of concentration to get through it, so pay attention to what I do and copy me exactly if you're playing along. Okay, you're done. Good job. I don't even know why they bothered to put that there. I guess just to show that you can push blocks. I guess that's a good way to introduce that to the player. But I mean, that is just, wow, incredibly simple. So through here, Zelda says to pull the switch over there. And I don't know if this is actually a hint or not. But right here she says... oh, well, maybe I'm mistaken. Oh, I'm thinking about... Never mind. I was thinking about something else. Basically, you have to pull the lever on the right. And if you pull the one on the left, it makes like a no sound and a bunch of snakes drop down. That's basically it. Take these guys out real quick just for the fun of it. And pull the correct lever this time. And we made it. So that's pretty much it for the first dungeon. Quote unquote dungeon. It's not a true dungeon. And that's basically where we're going to end the episode for today. We've got to collect the heart container, which is in that chest there to the left of the priest. And, once we do that and head outside, we will stop it there. just gonna let this scroll through. So there's a bit of plot there. He says he's gonna mark the village elder's house on your map so that you can go talk to him. Just a bit of a spoiler: the village elder isn't there. And if you're playing this game for the story alone, you would actually go there to the right side of that big house in the village. We're gonna skip that entirely because there's no reason to go in there other than story. So if you don't know where to go, you'd have to go there to figure it out. But other than that, there's no real reason. So that's it for today. The first episode is done. We'll pick it up here again, probably in a week or so. I'm gonna try to do 1 episode a week. As you can see from the side, I did something kind of special with the editing where I threw in the equipment screens and the pendant screens, and those are going to update as I play the game to show exactly what I have, so you can kind of keep up with what's going on, and if you're playing through with me, you can match what I have with what you have. The only screen I couldn't put up there was the item screen, obviously, because it's just way too big. But these other 2 screens were able to fit pretty nicely, and I didn't bother putting the active item box up there because it's already on the screen on the top left there next to the magic meter. So yeah, I hope you like that. It takes a lot of effort to get those up there and updated live. But basically, I have it set up in a way that I can screenshot them and then get them basically in perfect quality with no filtering on them, so they look really good. And then I crop them down and edit them in and update them as the game goes. So anytime I get another item or get a heart piece or anything, I have to screenshot it and then update it. So it's kind of frustrating, but I think it looks really good, and I hope you guys would at least appreciate the effort I put into it. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, take it easy.